What is inflation? What is going on behind the phenomenon where the prices of goods and services tend to rise over time? Let us talk about the price of a patty. In 2020, you can get a patty most places for about $180. But less than 10 years ago, you could get a patty for $100. If you go back further, in 2006, that same patty could have been procured for $50. Back in 2000, it was $20. In 1992, $10. 1988, $5. Before that, $2. And we could go back as far as 1980, when you could get a whole patty for $1. What is this? We call it inflation, an increase in the price level over time. The price level is the average of all the prices in the economy. And it rises at different rates in different countries. If we look at the rise in the price level across this range of countries, starting in 1970, we see that in Nigeria, prices in 2020 were 7 times higher than they were 50 years earlier. In the United Kingdom, 13 times higher. In Barbados, 17 times higher, and so on. So the price level tends to rise over time, but it rises at different rates in different countries, vastly different rates. Why is this important? Inflation rates matter because what seems like a small difference in the inflation rate can translate into a big difference in your day-to-day experience. Consider the following comparison. The average inflation rate in Rwanda is 5% per year. Prices rise on average by 5% each year. At that rate, it would take a price 18 years to double. That rate is manageable in terms of what you need to do to go about your daily business. You don't have to pay much attention to inflation if it will take 18 years for something that you're contemplating buying. It's going to take 18 years for the price of that thing to double. But if you're in Uzbekistan, where the average inflation rate is 10%, prices double every 7 years. In Venezuela, in 2015, the inflation rate was 112%. A price would double on average every 8 months. By 2017, the inflation rate in Venezuela had gone up to 1100%. Prices were doubling every 23 days. And when their hyperinflation got into high gear in 2018 and the inflation rate touched 14,000%, a price would double every 2 days. If there is something that you are contemplating buying, you cannot wait until the end of the week. You can't wait till the weekend when you have time. You better buy it this morning, because if you wait until you're going home in the evening, it's going to cost you, half again as much. So inflation rates matter. not to mention the inconvenience of having to cart around a large amount of money. In Venezuela in 2018, a roll of toilet paper would cost you 2.6 million bolivares. That is the amount of cash that you would have to take, shown there, to go to the supermarket and get one roll of toilet paper. Why does this happen? What is really going on when prices keep rising like this? And is it really about patties and toilet paper? We looked at what is the price of a patty. But instead of pricing the patty in dollars, let us price the dollar in patties. Let's ask the question, what is the price of a dollar? If you wanted to get your hands on a dollar, how much patty, how much in general, in goods and services do you have to hand over in order to get somebody to pay you a dollar? Now, in 1980, if you wanted to get your hands on a dollar, you'd have to hand over a whole patty. But by 1985, you could get your hands on a dollar by exchanging only half of a patty. A dollar was only worth half of a patty 5 years later. And by 1988, the dollar was the equivalent of a fifth of a patty. What seems to be happening is not really about patties, because we could have told the same story using bathroom tissue. We could have told the same story using the cost of a ticket to go to the movies. We could have told the same story using the cost of housing. So it's not about the particular product. The common element is the dollar. It's the money. It is the money that is losing value, not the goods and services that are rising in value. So inflation, while we define it as an increase in the price level over time, what it really is a fall in the value of money over time. The lesson, the conclusion, is that underlying inflation in prices is actually a fall in the value of money.